This future-proof newsletter is all about rethinking the ways of working, the ways of leadership, and it's based around the three disruptions: AI changing how we do what we do, the poly crisis, those big, massive changes that we're going through, like wars and climate change and supply chain disruptions, and the list goes on, and the rise of the empowered workforce, where a critical skills shortage in some areas and a increasingly skills glut in others runs headlong into a workforce whose priorities have changed. That's the background for everything that I do in Future Proofed. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that normally I talk about business decisions and strategy and leadership. But today I want to talk about something different, because it seems to be the time that companies are revisiting talent acquisition. And I was a recruiter for 15 years before I started this business, so I have a deep, deep, deep background in talent acquisition. And I've said for years that this needs to be reimagined, far before COVID, far before all of these disruptions, far before AI, that we need to reimagine talent acquisition. The system that we've been using for decades is broken, and now it's really starting to run headlong into a different type of workforce and more complexity with the rise of AI and everything else going on in the world. So what prompted me to do this video and to write this newsletter, and it'll be a series, is the fact that not one, not two, but three clients have recently reached out to me to help them with talent acquisition. Now, this goes in cycles. Every few years, I have a spurt of candidates, or a spurt of clients wanting my help with talent acquisition, and now seems to be one of those cycles. And it's something that I'm truly passionate about and truly love to do. So I've been thinking about how to reimagine talent acquisition for the digital world in the age of AI, where human skills are more important than ever. Now, I know that that's a little bit of a tension and a little bit of a, kind of something that's opposite, where, we're talking about the rise of AI and we're talking about the need for human skills. And that is absolutely true. That juxtaposition is 100% accurate. So I've been thinking about this, and you know me, I'm a keep it simple kind of gal, so I have redesigned a three-step process for talent acquisition. First, you need to identify who you're looking for. And I've written this down, so I'm actually going to read it. First, you need to define. And being a keep it simple kind of gal, I have come up with a three-step process. The first thing that we need to do is define who we're looking for. Now, this is not new. I've been teaching this methodology for, well, good decades now. We have to understand who it is that we're looking for. And I've switched my philosophy around this. I'm no longer talking about personas. So this person won't have a name, won't have a favorite coffee. You won't be trying to figure out what they read like you do in marketing personas. This person is more, what I'm talking about here is more of a psychographic. So we're calling this an archetype. And I'm developing several different types of archetypes that we can look at, different patterns of behavior and recognition. So that's the first thing. We have to define who we're looking for. What are their motivations? What are their behaviors? What is that psychographic? Then the second thing is we need to fish where the fish are, not just where it's convenient. So many of our talent acquisition processes are still stuck in using external recruiters. I was one for 15 years. I would never say not, but use the right ones. But also putting job ads on Seek or LinkedIn, or trolling through LinkedIn, using LinkedIn Recruiter. Now, all of those have their place, but it's not going to find the top talent in any specific role, especially depending on the archetypes. So we need to fish where the fish are, not just where we want to be. And the third is we need to write something worth reading. Most job descriptions are not worth the paper that they're written on. Most job ads are boring as you know the rest of the story. So we need to write something compelling, and I've come up with a new way of writing job descriptions as well. So this is kind of a placeholder. I'm saying watch this space in this video because I'm actually developing a playbook, a talent acquisition playbook that will walk through the talent acquisition process and probably eventually even the hiring process. So watch this space. But the first thing that I wanted to bring to you is my new 3-step process. So define, find, and then attract. Earn their respect. Earn the right to interact with them. More on this later.